What weird thing would you make socially acceptable if you could? Asking a potential employer what the salary for a position is before jumping through 50 hoops with the application/interview process only to find out the pay is crap. Calling out customers for being rude. I had a job as a teller at a credit union back in college, and I will always say the manager I had was one of the best I've ever had. I once had a lady who kept asking me for a new credit card and handed me her debit card. I looked on her account and said there is no credit card. There's a debit card, which is what this is, but that's the only card on this account. I can issue you a new one, no problem, but if you want a credit card you'll have to fill out an application. She was adamant that what she had was a credit card. No matter what I told her, she said it was a credit card and demanded a new one. At one point she said, "Are you stupid or something?" To which my manager overheard and pushed me out of the way and said, "You will not speak to him that way, and if you're going to continue behaving this way you're going to have to leave. I will not tolerate you speaking to my employees like that." I wish more managers were like her. I miss working at the old college bar I was at because this very reason. Being able to snap back at people when they snap or whistle at you like a dog was very satisfying and makes them realize they were being rude most of the time. Draping myself in velvet. A George, divided against itself, cannot stand. I'm a guy and I get a lot of flack for complimenting people's clothing. I don't think it's weird, but apparently it means I must like men. If you got nice shoes, I'm going to say they're nice shoes. As a woman who is dating a man who is very fashion forward and compliments things like that constantly, I highly encourage this. Compliments from women about your clothes is one thing, because we compliment everything and your dog, but from a man, just hits different. Being able to move your body more in everyday situations. It is often socially expected to sit and wear clothing which makes it impossible to move. I would like to be able to randomly squat, stretch and the like. I just do it anyway. Complimenting other men. Nice cock. Thanks. It helps get the hens to lay. Being able to sit in silence with someone without it being awkward. People shouldn't feel obligated to come up with conversation, it makes interacting stressful. I do not believe in awkward silences. Talk about something when it comes to you and conversations will feel way more real and interesting. When you're able to sit in silence with someone comfortably, I feel it shows you enjoy their company. Me and my best friend sometimes do this. We order food a lot and find a deserted place, usually the roof of some building, and just sit there eating. Most of the time we talk, but those moments of tranquility and peace are really nice. He was the best friend I ever had. We still don't talk sometimes. Being able to just wave or say hi to people you hardly know. There's nothing worse than an awkward 5-minute catch-up chat at the store with someone I haven't seen in years. Hey, sorry, I'm kind of in a rush, but you look great and it was nice bumping into you. Have a great day. Proceed to run into them 3 more times in the same store. Just look like you're intensely shopping. Yep, not a fan of the stop and chat. Neither is Larry David. Sitting. On the floor or anywhere really. Cashiers need to be allowed to sit. The fact that most places won't let them is a load of BS. Sitting is literally the normal thing to do in German supermarkets. I don't understand why others don't. It doesn't look unprofessional or anything, lol. Aldi grocery store cashiers sit at their registers. And they're the most efficient cashiers that I've ever seen. Seriously, they ring you up so fast and I'm just staring in amazement. Fast and violent. It's the Aldi way. Scan. Yeet. Scan. Noon. Scan. Gently place bread in basket area. Got to love Aldi cashiers. Paid enough to be quick, but also actually care. You should have seen German Aldis before they had barcode scanners. Cashiers would type the code of the item into the register with their right hand while eating the item in your general direction with their left. It was a sight to behold and basically impossible to keep up with. Openly talking about your finances with other people. A lot of people don't realize they're underpaid because nobody talks about wages. It's so bizarre to me that it's a taboo subject. We all rely on money in some form, let's just discuss it. Edit. This comment blew up. I just wanted to state that finances in my view include things like how much debt you have, what your rent and other bills are, how much you have saved, etc. I can see how there would be negatives to discussing your salary with coworkers or family, but in my opinion, the negatives brought up that I've read from replies don't bother me. The people who would be offended or have expectations of me are not people that I would end up highly valuing their opinion. If I'm doing better than a family member or friend and they need help, I'll help them, but if they are jealous, greedy or generally not supportive, then I don't need them in my life. In Sweden you can view anyone's salary online. I was weirded out when I first found out, but now I really like the transparency. It helps workers bargain. If anything, keeping salaries a secret is more advantageous to employers than employees. Lots of government jobs have their pay online. Also, lots of government jobs have the step/grade pay system, so you know exactly what someone makes, especially once they top out. It was so weird going from 10 years working in local government to the private sector. Nobody discusses pay, and I was looked at like I had a giant spider head if I started openly talking about my pay with people. I still don't get the secrecy. If you can't back up why someone is being paid what they're being paid, then maybe they should be paid differently. I would like to make it socially acceptable to tell employers that you're only in it for the money, and it being a legitimate answer. What am I supposed to tell employers, that I have always wanted to work at a part-time job and get yelled at by Karen so I could just make ends meet? Edit. Spelling. Yes. Like you have to act like your 9-to-5 job is your passion and comes before everything else. I'm an executive assistant because it's easy and decent pay. That's it. No passion. Not my dream. Just a job. I started a new job in June and would have weekly check-ins with my boss since we're all working remotely. She asked me if I'm enjoying my new responsibilities, and I answered enjoy is a relative term. I don't dread turning on my computer in the morning. Luckily, that made her laugh. Like, it's government contracting. It's not fun and it's not my passion. It's effing nobody's passion. Let's stop pretending we have to enjoy our jobs. Hell, people would probably be more content/happier with their jobs if there wasn't this expectation that you're supposed to be passionate about it, and the resulting feeling that there's something wrong if you're not. If society is constantly telling you to be passionate about your work and you're not, you wonder whether there's something wrong with you or wrong with the job, and it breeds exactly the sort of dissatisfaction it's trying to avoid. Thank you. The worst career advice is do what you love. That may work for 1% of people, but the rest of us can't afford to follow that advice. Just going to add that if you are actually able to procure gainful employment doing what you love, very often what you love becomes what you are bored to death with and never want to do again if you ever make it out of this line of work. Everything can be fun until you have to do it. What are you going to get out of this job? Sir, this is a Wendy's. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? A union job with benefits. My boss at work recently told me how much they hate people who just show up for the paycheck. I guess it's common perception that people who are only in it for the money don't care about their work, but that's not always true. Both my coworkers and bosses tell me I'm always reliable and do good work, but I don't give a crap about company loyalty or the actual work I'm doing. I work hard because my job pays well, and I don't want to give them any excuse to fire me. I work hard because my job pays well, and I don't want to give them any excuse to fire me. Peter Gibbons. The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy, it's that I just don't care. Bob Porter. Don't care? Peter Gibbons. It's a problem of motivation, all right? Now if I work my ass off and in a tech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime, so where's the motivation? And here's something else, Bob, I have 8 different bosses right now. Bob Slidell. I beg your pardon? Peter Gibbons. 8 bosses. Bob Slidell. 8? Peter Gibbons. 8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled, that, and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that will only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired. Having your work ethic, not your ass-kissing skills, prioritized and appreciated. Both in jobs and school. Eating alone at a restaurant or a solo movie trip. I mean, sort of limited now due to COVID, but before COVID, when people would hear of me doing that, they said they felt terrible and how depressing that sounds. I'm like, why? Just another day for me. Doesn't feel weird or anything. It's quite nice to get away from constant chats and have a nice quiet meal while being out and about. I just ate at the bar. Pretty much every place lets you do that. You can watch TV, look at your phone and have a meal in peace. I used to do this before going to see a movie alone. I loved it. I really miss a nice solo night out to recharge. I'm literally my favorite person to hang out with. I used to worry about that when I would be out of town working. I always thought that I was being judged lol. Then I realized that I enjoyed it, the solitude of enjoying a meal in my thoughts. On the plus side, no one knew who I was, so why would I care? People in the service industry should be able to tell a customer when they are being a butthole. My old boss from when I worked retail flat out told me on my first day that so long as I wasn't being a total dick, he would always have my back if a customer was being an ass and I didn't bend over backwards for them. He banned a few people from the store over their antics while I was there, and blew a couple Karens' minds when he told them to shut up and act their age when they tried their usual screaming fest. I loved that job. That's awesome. When I was a lifeguard, my boss was the same way. Thankfully, in that line of work, the customer isn't always right, but it was still a great feeling to know your job wasn't at risk if Karen went berserk. I once had a guy totally flip his lid because a new cashier took his money 10 minutes before free swim started, but I wouldn't let him and his daughter in the pool because it was still lap swim. He ended up storming into my boss's office and complaining for over 15 minutes. Afterwards, my boss called me in and said, "If anyone asks, I'm reprimanding you. Great job handling that situation, keep up the good work." I read that as swimming into your boss's office, for I need more sleep. If other people are at my house having fun but I'm tired, I just want to be able to go to bed, but they can stay and have a good time. Had a friend's dad that would say, "Well, we better get to bed so these people can go home," when he was ready to call it quits. I just go upstairs when I'm done with whatever is going on. The wife is the social butterfly and remains to entertain. It's usually about the time the drama starts or the kids start getting whiny. I'm an introvert, so she counts it as a win when I drop in to say hi. My dad doesn't say anything at all, he just disappears. Later, you'll find him watching reruns of CSI Miami in his room munching on gummy candies. He doesn't care. One time my Phil drove 2 hours to meet us at a park. Upon getting there and greeting everyone, he set up a chair for his wife and then said, "Welp, see you guys later," and left. He has done this sort of thing numerous times, but that was the one where I wasn't annoyed but actually impressed. The confidence to say "F it, I'm going to bounce" is admirable in a strange to thine own self be true kind of way. Well, at least nobody can say he doesn't show up to things. I always envied my uncle at family gatherings. When he was done, he'd just leave. No making the rounds to say goodbye to everyone, the whole agonizing drawn-out goodbyes. He'd just say later and bounce. I was especially impressed when he lived with my grandma and even bounced out of his own house. This is my preferred exit. I say goodbye to those around me, the host, and then I leave. I don't make my rounds, and I don't do long goodbyes. My mother, on the other hand, can turn a goodbye into a 2-hour conversation. Ugh. Gummy candies, social obligation. The Peter principle needs to end. Not all good work should be rewarded with a promotion. Hell, back when I worked retail, they were talking about some of the weird workers they had. And there was this one guy who was a trolley boy for 13 years. He could have been manager by the time and effort he put in, so they just gave him a raise because he systematically refused every promotion. He was perfectly happy being a trolley boy. Some people are really good at doing grunt level work but suck at any sort of a management or anything with responsibilities. We should notice and respect that, but still give them the rewards they deserve. A raise is much more valuable than a promotion to a lot more people than we think. Edit, my tired ass replied to the wrong thing. There was something or other about works or promotions next to it. I don't even remember 5 minutes later. Sorry. Sir, this is a Wendy's. friend of mine was the first to get an apartment out of our friend group. We all would hang out there all the time and just do whatever, even after she had to sleep early for work the next day. Sometimes she'd wake up early and all of us would still be awake doing who knows what, but it was just pretty casual. At some point she made copies of her front door's keys for us lol. Edit. She's not a friend anymore for reasons I won't say, but at the time it was great. Edit 2. For those who think we just trashed the place / didn't know boundaries, we didn't literally do whatever and left. We would sometimes help with groceries / electric bills / cleaning. We always took out full trash bags on our way out, so that we wouldn't leave her with the burden. If there was ever time she needed some alone time, we followed through. And no, I won't say the reason we stopped being friends, sorry guys. Edit 3. I caved in. She met my homies and I through gaming and soon was in a relationship with a homie. She's from out of state and years after decided to move to our city with her boyfriend and a job ready for her. That relationship recently ended in not the best of terms, and she didn't want to be with us as that wouldn't help her get over their breakup. She didn't do any of us dirty honestly, just that they broke up. I know it's a pretty underwhelming story. This was me. I got kicked out at 17 and got a rent house to myself with my grandpa's help. All my friends came over when they were displaced during Hurricane Harvey. I had 8 high schoolers, not including myself, sleeping in my little 2-bedroom 800 square foot slum for at least 2 weeks. For a couple years I let a lot of homeless / troubled teens I'd went to school with have a roof to sleep under and a shower to wash up in and sometimes food to eat, when I was actually able to feed myself lol. We all struggled together. Edit to say that 800 square feet was just an estimation for small and I really have no idea the approximate amount. I made a guess at the sizes of the rooms below. If y'all feel like you want to be on our / they did the math complete with some curveball measurements you'd have to find of furniture. Usually I eat that stuff up but I'm tired and I know some of y'all like doing that stuff too. Reddit link. That's amazing, good for you. I hope you're more comfortable now. You have an excellent, kind heart. I love that you did this, well done. I helped many people out and sometimes I was taken advantage of. However, I just got a call from a guy I helped out and now he's doing good and raising a family. Edit. Thank you for the award, kind stranger. For those asking, he called to say thanks because it was a really difficult time in his life and he didn't know what he'd do if he didn't have a home to go to. Sounds like she is there for you when the rain starts to pour. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.